Welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we are watching the... Well, I actually don't have a clue what this will be. Probably the Company of Heroes 3 announcement, which is happening live right now here in the background. We are 3 minutes and 20 seconds away, and this is all presented by IGN. And yeah, it's Relic, the creators of Company of Heroes, Dawn of War, and now also Age of Empires 4 creators. And this looks very much like World War II, so I just assume that this will be Company of Heroes 3. And I will be honest, I'm kind of curious about what this will be. Because Company of Heroes 2 was alright. But I'm also like a little bit done with it. And then Dawn of War 3 happened, and we do not talk about Dawn of War 3 here. Like, it just didn't happen here. Now they're working on Age of Empires 4, which is cool. I'm actually looking forward to it. But I don't really know what to expect from a Company of Heroes 3. Like, it seems this time it's about Italy? Like, Company of Heroes 2 was all about Russia and the Russian war, or the Russian war front. And this time we are completely focusing on Italy, which is kind of cool. I think the only time a game has actually really focused on World War II in Italy was Sniper Elite 4? I think it was 4. So, yeah, more Italy, cool. But it's also like, World War II, it's funny enough, we just had the discussion with my live stream here, where we talked about Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. And I said I enjoy Battlefield 1 more because A, balance and all that, but also the setting is so unique with World War 1, and I'm just done with World War 2. Right? And now and now we have Company of Heroes 3, which will probably be announced here in just a minute. And it's World War 2 again. It's like, oh man. Man. And Kai Hex, thank you very much for the host. And by the way, if you're wondering who I'm talking to, I'm also live streaming this right now with my community, so if I'm talking to some people, it's exactly that. But yeah, 50 seconds. I'm curious. Like, I always enjoyed Company of Heroes, but there was something which never made it fully click with me. Like, something really stopped me from putting so many hours into the game. I think it was the whole micromanagement, but also like they tried to do macro management. The base building was fine, but very, very rudimentary. I wonder if they are actually removing the base building. Like what they are doing with that, or if they are going full out base building this time. But let's see. Let's see what we got here. That was definitely Sega. This time not being super loud. Thanks. Let me see. We are starting with a cinematic. German occupied Italy. So this is after Mussolini basically said, we are out, and Hitler said, nope. Definitely not. Ooh, paratroopers, that's new. Okay. Underground fighters maybe, or they just, yeah, underground. Yeah, this is where Germany basically took over, or Nazi Germany took over. Müller cannot answer anymore. The radio was just like, hey!
Herr Weber?
Frau Russo, guten Morgen.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Wouldn't start without you.
Das ist für Ihre Soldaten.
Ach, danke, das ist sehr nett von Ihnen.
Kein Problem.
Ja.
Tag noch.
And good day, she said. Well, I have a bad news for this dude. Your day will become shit. Yo. Ooh. Italy Resistance, maybe as a new faction. That could be interesting. So this is US and England, or the UK, Commonwealth, depending. Well, I don't think your MGs will have much against the Churchill tanks here. Oh. Well, they have tanks too. Good for them. Oh, the destruction could be like super interesting. Like destruction was always in the Company of Heroes games, but it wasn't like that. This is very personal. Ooh. Yeah, this is a very personal approach. Like normally they're always focusing on the big fights. I'll get fluffed. Yeah, it seems like this time they are focusing also more on the destruction, which is cool. If that is the case. Nice! Alright! Well, this is Company of Heroes 3. Oh, this is Rommel. This is Egypt. Tobruk. No. Desert warfare. That's cool.
Hello and welcome to the reveal of Company of Heroes 3.
Hi.
I'm Brian Altano from IGN, and you just got an exclusive first look at Company of Heroes 3.
No, you don't have
developed
to
by
play the
Relic
second
Entertainment and Sega, and maybe even you. But more on that part in just a
You can,
sec.
but you
Company
don't
of
have to.
Heroes 3 is real, it's happening, and for the next hour, we're bringing you new details,
Wow.
developer interviews,
A full
hands-on impressions,
hour?
and most importantly,
Alright.
tons and tons of gameplay. Company of Heroes
Sure.
3 features the biggest single-player campaign in the history of Company of Heroes, tons of new factions and specialist units to call into battle, and the most gorgeous cinematic and fully destructible sandbox environments the franchise has ever seen. So, without
Nice.
further ado, it's time to finally see this long-awaited, highly anticipated new game in action. Here it is, the stunning first look at gameplay for Company of Heroes 3.
Wow, long awaited. Debatable, but sure. Let's see this. Exclusive first gameplay. Let's take a look at the cinematic again.
It was 1944.
Ooh.
Orders would liberate the Italian city of Gita.
There's a lot of stuff
Taking
going
the
on.
beach was our first objective. Shells were raining down on us as we rushed toward the German fortifications.
The campaign is actually
German
always
bunkers were
great.
overlooking the entire beach.
Very
Once
cinematic.
we were in range, we hit them from both sides. Once the first bunker collapsed, the defense opened up. After securing the beach, we were told to take a nearby Flak 88. Blowing up the artillery was the only way we could hold our position.
Yes, Company of Heroes is an RTS.
We
Ooh,
accomplished our
knife
mission,
throwing.
but not without losses. In this long day,
So those are like commandos as a new unit.
while we led the main front, they dropped in paratroopers to stop any German reinforcements. They never saw them coming.
Huzzah! There was a pretty light explosion for a mortar.
Caught in the open. They never stood a chance. The outskirts of the city are now ours.
Ah, there's the base building they're
Set up a
showcasing.
forward base, urgently building a triage center for the wounded.
Okay.
We rallied together and prepared for the final assault. We made our way toward the city square. They were expecting us, but we were one step ahead of them.
I really like this
Even with the
clearing
help
out
of
the
British
houses and stuff.
We knew this was going to be an uphill fight.
Oh, there's the scene from the
German troops were gathered
cinematic.
in the main square. We didn't expect that level of resistance.
That's cool.
Under heavy fire, buildings collapsing around us, and for a while, they had the upper hand.
I really wonder how the collapsing buildings will actually play into the
Managed to hold
gameplay.
Position long enough for air support to arrive.
That's cool. Love the destruction.
The city was ours, but our fight in Italy had
Ooh.
only just begun.
Wait, what? That looked different. So is there like now a word map? Very colorful. One of the big problems with Company of Heroes 2, Russia wasn't really colorful. I have to admit. It was a very white experience. Very
Alright,
snowy.
that was your first look at Company of Heroes 3 gameplay. As you can see, it's an explosive mix of action, tactics, and strategy, and it looks completely awesome. To find out more, let's check in with the developers
Sure.
of Company of Heroes 3 and learn how they're creating the deepest tactical game ever made. Here's an interview with some folks from Relic Entertainment, the amazing team behind Company of Heroes 3.
I hope they're having some gameplay in the background.
We asked our players, where would you like to see Company of Heroes 3? And we put on the board 2 new theaters.
We decided on the Mediterranean Theater because it's what our players asked for. A while back, we sent
Interesting.
out
I didn't
so
know
many
that.
different surveys, and I think we got back about 60,000 responses. And
Damn.
by far, the Mediterranean was the one that the players wanted to see the most. Authenticity and
Cool.
realism is critical for the Company of Heroes franchise, and we're not just taking it from ourselves. We're taking our stories, we're taking our concept for our narrative,
That
and
looks
we're actually
cool.
working with external ethics consultants.
I love
we
the
want to make sure, are we treating
destruction.
this material with all of the respect and all of the care that it deserves?
Well, the one thing we wanted to do with Company of Heroes 3 is make sure we build a game for the core first. So our fans that have played our franchise, the ones that are the most passionate, are the ones we started with.
For existing fans of Company of Heroes, we've definitely focused on the core of what they love, which is flanking, cover, and destruction. On top of that, we're bringing in breaching, which can help get those stuck-in troops out of buildings. This adds to the
Nice.
authenticity and to the realism.
We heard from players that garrisoning was too powerful in many cases. It was just a race to a building near a capture point, and you
Yeah.
garrison it, and you're in there for a while.
If you didn't have the tank or the explosives to get the people out, ooh, nightmare. Like it was, you lost a lot. That was just one building.
I think if I had to choose a feature that I'm most excited about, it's the verticality in the gameplay and the fact that our environments are so different. In Italy, which is what we've really been focusing on as of late to make sure that's in a great state to get out to fans, the verticality really changes gameplay. You now
Yeah.
have bottlenecks and choke points and gain height advantages, and it really changes the game from anything we've ever done before. And our True Sight feature, which our players love, that's much improved with the verticality in our environments where True Sight really shines, because getting a tactical advantage by having height is fantastic. Of course, there's counters to that as well.
Company of Heroes is an intense RTS experience, and it is something that we are loving building. But we
I like the
also wanna
format.
make sure that we're providing an experience that new players can get into.
Some
and
developers have
enjoy.
really
This is a
learned
strategic turn-based experience
to
that
do
interweaves
good
single-player
showcases
RTS
with game
missions and
announcements.
skirmishes. And the really fun thing about that is how the
And some
gameplay between
developers
the two of them can interrelate. And talking about the RTS, we're also working on a new feature called Tactical Pause. This
Oh.
is something that's an optional single-player only feature
Aw.
where players are able to stop everything on the battlefield battlefield, take a deep breath, think about what their units are doing, give them their actions, and then hit go.
I would love to see that
How
maybe
you
when you were
play
playing
it
with
on.
friends.
Here we have players queuing up where their infantry are going to go, where their tanks are going to go, call-ins, building bases, also actions that the infantry can do, like throwing grenades. So
That's
everything you
cool.
can do in real time. You
That's
can
a
do
really
while
cool
pausing, and then
feature.
you simply unpause the game again.
Feature, not future. Similar, but not the same. I assume this is the commando
Naval
class.
and sea forces were a big
Yeah.
part of this theater. Our Navy is going to be mostly on the campaign
This
map,
looks
where
interesting.
not only can you bombard cities
So
and
we now have a
enemies from
campaign
the
map?
seas, but the enemy will have U-boats. They're trying to sink your ships. They're
Ooh.
trying to get to your supply lines.
Yo, that's
when you go into
cool.
missions and you go into skirmishes, if you have destroyers nearby, you can actually call in some bombardments in the RTS as well. So full Navy support.
Oh.
We're looking to our players over the next year and a half to help us develop this feature. We're super excited about it. The key on our
Year and a
campaign map is
half.
to capture airports so you can have air superiority. I mean, a huge part of the war was supporting your troops on the ground, in the air. And so you can do recon, of course, once you have an airport. You can bomb different
That's
enemy
cool.
types. You could even bomb Monte Casino. Just like in real life, which turned out maybe not to be a great move. But those are decisions you're going to make on the battlefield. So it really is taking Ardennes Assault and then timesing it by 1,000. Because now we have this full 3D environment. All the things that make a great strategy game are the things that we're adding to the map to make it the best
There's a lot of
campaign
stuff flying
experience
around.
ever in Company of Heroes.
Not gonna lie, I was not really all for a new Company of Heroes game. Like I was like, oh, a new
With our
Company of
PvP
Hero
modes,
game.
the most important thing
Great.
is authenticity.
Now I'm
and
actually
adding
really
more
hyped
depth
about
than
this.
ever before. So players who loved our first two games, not only are they going to see features they've loved, but we have new features to make sure that they can play our
Damn, the
PvP
destruction in
Company
the
of Heroes 3
background.
for 10 more years. And even in our campaign, you're going to see 10 different kinds of skirmishes. And we hope to bring that to PvP as well. And little things that our players have been asking for, such as key binding, which we've never delivered before, where players can customize their keyboard. Those are some of the features we're bringing to make the
Yeah,
PvP
finally.
experience the best it's ever been.
Two of the first factions we can talk about for Company of Heroes 3 are the British forces and are the American forces. And yes, Company of Heroes players have experienced these before. What we're trying to do with Company of Heroes 3 is to grow them and to make the gameplay newer and more interesting.
So if you do things that they like, such as not blowing up their towns and not blowing up their airports, they will do things for you. And they will go out and they will survey the environment and look for the enemy and report back to you. They
So
can
damage
sabotage
control will
bridges
actually
and
help
do
you.
Other things like that they really did in
Yo,
the
that's
war.
cool.
And the more you work with them, the more they're going to do for you.
One of the things we're so excited about with our campaign is
That's
how
really
the
cool.
player's going to be able to interact with it. It's your actions
I love
on
the
the
campaign
map,
map,
it's the
man.
tactics
This is the
you
first
take,
time they're
it's your
doing this, by the
decision
way.
around what direction you're taking as you're moving through the campaign.
Like before that,
The
it was really
combination of
just
all of these actions on the map
standard
that are
strategy
gonna spawn
mission
different
type.
narrative beats.
Like you were just playing through the missions. There was no campaign map. This is completely new.
We are planning on launching the game in late 2022, but as everyone's going to notice, we're announcing pretty early.
Yeah.
And the reason we're announcing early is because we
Beta.
want players to get to play the game before launch and give us feedback.
We want
Good.
players to just absolutely dive in.
Good.
And eat up every single
Especially
bit of
after
information
Dawn of
we're
War
giving them,
3.
and then we want to hear back from them
Good.
what we think about it. I mean, the new strategic turn-based combat on the campaign map is the new thing. What players are going to be able to see is a portion of the Italian campaign. They're going to be able to play with the American and the British forces. They're going
Okay.
to be able to engage with the Italian partisans.
You start
By the
in
way,
Naples.
yes, we will check it
Your
out.
first task is to stop the bombing of Naples by taking over an airport where the Germans currently own. Once you do that, you spread out across this
And then
slice
you can
of
bomb the
Italy,
city.
And try and take back this area.
But this time, you were the good
Many
guys.
of the features that will be in the final game are there.
The feedback that we're going to get from our pre-alpha preview is invaluable. We take this feedback.
I wonder if
and
it is
bring
under
into the
NDA.
studio. So come and join us. It's going to be loads of fun.
I assume it's under NDA. We have to take a look. But I fear it is.
And we're back. Aren't video games great? Shout out to the entire team behind Company of Heroes 3 who have been working hard behind the scenes and in secrecy developing this giant new game. Now, maybe you've been watching all of these reveals today and saying to yourself, hey, this game looks incredibly fun, but I need to play it, like, soon. Well, guess what? You can. You heard that right. As part of today's big reveal for Company of Heroes 3, Relic Entertainment have one more surprise. Starting today at 11 a.m. Pacific time and running for the next 3 weeks, you'll be able to get your hands on a pre-alpha preview of Company of Heroes 3 on PC for free. Now, the game is more than a year out from launch, but in this
well, then you know what we are playing tomorrow.
You'll get to experience a small slice of early gameplay from the single-player campaign, including the new turn-based campaign map and the full tactical pause feature that we showcased earlier. You'll be taking on the role of the commander of the Allied troops in Italy on a campaign to retake the mainland from the entrenched Axis forces. From your landing in Naples, you'll have access to 4 campaign missions and several dynamic skirmish battles. This is all part of Relic's new community feedback program called co-development. In other words, this is not a demo.
They're doing something similar with Age of Empires 4, and it has apparently worked out pretty well for them.
Your feedback to help make it even better. To get your hands on this pre-alpha preview of Company of Heroes 3, head over to companyofheroes.com and sign up before it's too late. Now, we'll be playing Company of Heroes 3 live on air in just a few minutes, but in the meantime, here's IGN's Leanna Hafer with her thoughts on that very same build.
My U.S. Airborne Company is not having their best day of the war. As a strafing run from the Luftwaffe,
we will watch this, but we will not watch them playing the game. We will do that ourselves.
We've been sent here from Company of Heroes 3's dynamic campaign map to capture an airfield, which would not only stop these attacks from above...
But that's cool. Yeah, they do similar things with Age of Empires 4, and it seems like it would really help them to shape Battlefield 4 in the way the community wanted, right? And, well, let's be honest here, after the kind of disaster...
Company of Heroes 2 toyed with the idea
Dawn of War 3 was.
Campaign map
I can see that.
And Assault expansion. But Company of Heroes 3 has gone all out. We don't have a lot of footage of the campaign map yet, but I got to play around with it quite a bit, and I'd compare the scope and complexity almost to something like Total War. Companies and specific leaders level up and gain new abilities. Special
Makes sense.
optional missions like an assassination or extraction.
Like Creative Assembly is also owned by Sega,
Capturing a town and breaking an enemy
so the
supply
developers
line
are
can
probably
get
talking
much
quite a bit with each other.
There are even new unit types called detachments who can fight each other in auto-resolved battles on the campaign map, or join a full-fledged company as a roster modifier in real-time battles if they're close by.
That's
Small
cool.
skirmishes between detachments allow much more strategic decision-making without bogging down the pace with dozens of RTS missions per turn. On the battlefield, Company of Heroes 3 feels more evolutionary than revolutionary, though. In some ways, it's actually a bit of a throwback. Based on fan feedback, Relic wanted to create a game with an emphasis on infantry and pacing closer to CoH3 as opposed to
I don't mind
CoH2.
that.
Which could escalate into
Because
a giant tank war pretty quickly.
I
The intimacy of war this series has always been so good at portraying.
didn't like Company of Heroes as much as I liked the first one.
Realistic animations and unit
Like, one was a little bit too much on the tank side of
However,
things.
the carnage unfolds across a generally much
Don't get me
brighter,
wrong,
more
tanks are
colorful backdrop of Italy
lol.
and North
Tanks
Africa.
are great, and they are fun, and they
Modern
should
tech
be
has allowed Company of
powerful.
Heroes 3 to really amp up the destruction from an artillery
But it was a little
barrage
bit too
or
much
armored
in the second one.
Driving a tank right through a building might be a viable way to smash an enemy hardpoint, and a soaring villa can be rendered into a cascade of falling plaster and roof tiles by artillery. Relic hasn't decided yet how they're going to handle things like damage from falling debris, and it may work differently in single-player versus multiplayer modes.
Oh, that's
Many
interesting.
infantry squads can
I would
also
love
now
to see
breach
that actually
buildings that are
destruction
garrisoned
is
by
doing
units,
something
kicking
to
the
everyone
door
around
down
them.
in proper war movie
I would
fashion,
love to see
and
that.
tossing in a grenade before
I mean,
storming it. This allowed me to play a lot
you have to
more
think about it.
aggressively in infantry versus infantry skirmishes, which feels great overall.
You just have
But
to
with
think
those
about it when
stalemates where
you
basically
send
have
in
to
your
wait
troops.
Until you have the firepower to completely level everything to make any progress.
Like,
Vehicle combat hasn't been left by the wayside either, though. Tanks now
It's a
have
thing
a
to
side
consider,
armor
that's all.
value in addition to front and rear, which makes tank duels a lot more interesting. I was able to take out that Panzer duo from earlier with some hastily deployed light tanks just by dancing around their flanks and making sure I always had my hardened front end pointed their way.
that's cool.
It takes a lot of micro, but Company of Heroes 3 even has new ways to deal with that. Tactical pause.
Yeah, I'm
lets
really
you
curious
freeze
about this
battle in
one.
place in single player and issue a chain of multiple orders.
Again, I would love to see this
Quickly
in
executed to the best of your
multiplayer
ability when you
when you are
resume.
playing with your
This feature won't be
friends
available in competitive
and only your
multiplayer, and it
friends.
was
Like if
described to
everyone
be almost
agrees
like
on that
training
this is
wheels for
in
newer
and the people can
players.
use it.
But even as someone who has been playing RTSs for most of my life, I really appreciated the more thoughtful playstyle it enables.
The problem with Company of Heroes is sometimes, as I said, it's a very huge game on a macro level, but you still have the micromanagement of all the units. It can be quite overwhelming.
Everyone their marching orders, and then be able to zoom in and watch the action, rather than zipping all over the map, constantly trying to put out fires.
That's cool.
You can check out the Company of
That's
Heroes
what Dawn of War
3 alpha
1
preview
actually
on
made
PC
pretty great,
for
and then they
yourself
completely
starting
gave up
today.
on that.
And for more, check out our article on how Company of Heroes 3 compares to Company of Heroes 1 and 2. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Debatable. Alright, but I think that was it, and now it's just like live gameplay.
Well, friends, that's all from me for now,
yeah.
but you don't need more of me. You need more Company of Heroes 3, and for that, we're kicking it to a full-on gameplay live stream with IGN's Leanna Hafer and the team behind Company.
No, especially because I don't want to get DMC8, so we will not do that. Yes. Alright, but that was pretty amazing. I like this. Like, that was good. I wasn't really sure how I felt about this. Because it's like, oh, great, another World War II strategy game. But now that I have seen it, it actually looks really fun and cool. Like, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. Like, that's amazing. Cool. We will definitely check it out tomorrow live on stream. And we will check that out. But for all the people who have watched this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reaction video and you want to see more of it, I would appreciate if you might consider to hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, well, then there's the dislike button. And if you're new to the channel, and as I said again, you want to see more reaction videos, gameplay, and probably my first thought on Company of Heroes 3 very soon, you might want to click on the subscribe button and on the bell icon to get more videos whenever they're ready. So thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I hope to see you next time.